Sup. Random news of gaming for September 2023. Time to give you all the news that happened over the past month in the most on-time fashion possible. Did you know that this is the 1-year anniversary of RNG? Well, actually it was 6 days ago, so I was even late for that. Double the late, double the gay.
Ha! Gay!
In my defense, I was busy playing the fan translation of the next Trails game because, for some reason, people felt the need to spoil it in my last video even though it has nothing to do with that game. By the way, if you haven't seen it yet, it's the top 10 least favorite moments in the Trails series, which is a follow-up to my old top 10 favorite moments video. Go watch them if you haven't yet, unless you don't want spoilers. Anyway, let's get into the garbage. There's a lot of it. Baldur's Gate 3 was the big launch of last month, and holy crap did this game make some surprising numbers. Considering this is a sequel to a series that hasn't been touched in like 20 years, it was kind of wild to see it break all kinds of records, hitting just under 900,000 concurrent players at its peak, making it one of the top 10 of all time on Steam, which doesn't account for those that bought it elsewhere like GOG. Kinda crazy, isn't it? It was slated to come out for the PS5 and Xbox as well, but apparently there was a bit of a snag in releasing it on Xbox. For the Series S, they were having difficulties getting the split screen mode to work, so the Xbox version was initially delayed to next year. Some brainlit console warriors on the PlayStation side use this as a weapon to wage their little console war on Twitter. And here's where I want to introduce a fun new segment into these videos: the dumbest video game take of the month. Or last month. Anyway, here it is.
Baldur's Gate 3 is launching exclusively on PS5 this year for console gamers. Not because Jim Ryan paid for it, but because Xbox Series S paid for it. Hashtag Xbox, hashtag Baldur's Gate 3.
Holy shit, dude. Honestly, I'll try to avoid using J-Dub's tweets every month because this dude sits on Twitter all day console warring with the 3 remaining Xbox fanboys that exist, rather than playing games on his precious PS5 that's probably collecting dust. Low-hanging fruit and all that. But damn, getting this vindictive because some people won't be able to play the game at the same time you do is just pathetic.
Your life is nothing. You serve zero purpose.
There's probably a worse take out there, but this video is extremely late and I'm not sifting through a month of tweets and stuff, so yeah. And this tweet didn't age well. Because retarded console wars aside, the real issue had little to do with the consoles themselves. There's been a lot of complaints about the Series S being an underpowered piece of hardware for the current standard, and, well, it is. Let's be real. But that's not where the problem lied. In order to release a game on Xbox, Microsoft required parity between the Series S and Series X versions of the game, so that there is no difference aside from graphics and performance between the two systems. This requirement was bound to shoot themselves in the foot sooner or later, and Baldur's Gate 3 just happened to be the game that did it. So in response, Xbox basically did the right thing and changed their parity clause. So now, the game should be coming to Xbox before the year is over. Maybe. Last but not least, Baldur's Gate 3 proved to be such a good game, miles beyond that of any AAA game launch these days, that people are honestly shocked about it, including other AAA game developers. Some of them took to Twitter and elsewhere to complain about how this should not be the expected norm going forward. Bitch, please. AAA games have bigger staff, bigger budgets, more access to modern development tools, and you can't even put out a game with a quarter of the quality that Baldur's Gate 3 showed. That's your problem. Get good. Even IGN agrees with me. Well, one of its guys does. You should watch the only good thing IGN's put out in recent years called Baldur's Gate 3 is causing some developers to panic. Link in the description if you're interested. Otherwise, moving on. So in last month's RNG video, I talked about the absolutely abysmal situation regarding the latest Trails game thanks to the localizers at NISA, and how I wasn't going to be buying any of the games going forward. Well, there's another series that had very frequent releases that I was pretty much buying every single one of, and that's the Atelier series. And yep, this series is now dead to me too, because they had a super special 1-hour showcase to announce a new Atelier game. A mobile gacha cash grab. But not only that, they are treating this mobile gacha cash grab as the next numbered entry in the series. That's right, Atelier 25, where all previous 24 games were actual games, and the spin-offs and mobile games weren't labeled as such. That tells me all I need to know. This is the future of this series. Dead to me. Speaking of dead to me, we have the Pokemon showcase, and I don't understand why they have these showcases as frequently as they do, because they never have anything interesting to show for them. This was all about the DLC and other insignificant Pokemon-themed apps or whatever that nobody except the most dedicated blind Pokemon fanboy consumers would care about. Well, I guess I answered my own question there. Another showcase that was utterly mid was the Gamescom 2023 showcase. Another shitty Jeff Keighley event, riddled with corpo-pandering propaganda, garbage humans from Hollywood that need to get the fuck out, and of course, since no one takes this shit seriously, another random jackass that walked on stage just like at the Game Awards. It wasn't even funny this time, and yet, that was pretty much the only thing that people talked about from this event because it was just that mid. Which is kind of unfortunate, to be honest, because some of the games they showed looked cool. Some of them. Actually, it was mostly just Little Nightmares 3 for me, just saying. But there was one other showcase last month that I thought was pretty dang good, and it was from a surprising source, THQ Nordic. Titan Quest II was a surprising announcement for sure, and a lot of the games on there like the third-person shooting and exploration game, Outcast's A New Beginning, and even the games from genres I normally don't play like that car game, Recreation. They just look damn fun. I recommend giving it a watch if you haven't yet. That Trine 5 trailer was pretty cringe though, so prepare yourself. Moving on to some smaller stories, we have our regularly scheduled Let's All Laugh at Activision Blizzard Again. Overwatch 2 releasing on Steam, and holy shit, look at those reviews. Yeah, you get what you deserve, to be honest. This review here tells you all you need to know. Starfield goes gold. Kind of pointless to bring it up here at this point, but even the announcement of going gold seemed to melt the brains of some PlayStation fanboys for some reason. What happened to the PlayStation community? Holy shit, they've been wild lately.
One game. I don't know why. I bought a PS5 with no games to buy.
Denuvo announced registration as anti-piracy middleware on Nintendo Switch. I mean, you know Denuvo's track record at this point. This is just going to make Nintendo games perform worse than they already do. But the real irony was that this alleged anti-piracy software company used an AI-generated artwork to announce this. Is someone gonna tell them? Well, they probably already know, they just don't care. Snake oil salesmen are all the same.
You're a fucking idiot.
Do you want to turn your PS5 into a Wii U too? Well, I have just the thing for you. PlayStation Portal was shown off a bit more last month, and that's basically all it does. An extra $200 will allow you to use your PS5 without your TV on a handheld screen that can't be taken on the go. At all. Wow.
I never asked for this.
And just to rub the salt into PlayStation fans' wounds, your PS Plus subscription is going up in price. And with what added features or benefit to the users? Nothing, of course. Somehow their stock went up after announcing this, which baffles me because I can only see their active user base dropping as a result. But what do I know? I'm just a penny-pinching PlayStation hater. Volition shuts down after 30 years following the disaster that was the Saints Row reboot from last year. I mean, you release a game like that, then shit on your player base when they give you pushback? Yeah, it's to be expected, really. Metal Gear Solid HD Collection. Allegedly, this thing is barely HD, pretty much the same as the 7th gen version, and not only that, if you buy it on Switch, it will actually run worse than the original PS2 versions. Nice. Oh, and there's an arbitrary content warning included. Fuck's sake, this is pathetic. It's almost as if they have no idea what happens in these games.
Right. You seem to think that our plan is one of censorship.
Are you telling me it's not?
You're being silly. What we propose to do is not to control content, but to create context.
Lastly, how about something good for a change, even if it is a very small W? And that W belongs to Ubisoft? No fucking way. Probably the only W they'll ever get again. Assassin's Creed Mirage release date gets moved up to October 5th, so good for them. This is a very rare thing to see, and honestly, it's impossible to know if it was completely deliberate marketing or not, but still. Last year we saw Xenoblade 3 get moved up, which was also nice. I don't mind this becoming more of a trend, even if it is faked. Lots of games get announced too early, so the wait being cut short is always a good thing. There's also another game that was moved up, but we'll go over that in the releases, which there are a lot of, and quite a few more games that I missed. Again, so many games coming out on a literal daily basis that it's impossible to keep up, just saying. First off, we have a couple Vampire Survivors-like games that I missed from June. 20 Minutes Till Dawn is the first one, with an unusual art style and Lovecraft-inspired themes. We also have Brotato, a more cartoony style of game that reminds me of The Binding of Isaac. Both of these games have very, very high ratings on Steam, but if you're still skeptical on this type of gameplay, there's one more. On August 16th, we suddenly got the Steam version of Holocure, which is the gameplay footage I've been using for this video. This is a completely free Vampire Survivors-like fan game entirely based on HoloLive VTubers and all the silly memes and references associated with them. Even if you're like me and not a fan of VTubers, this game is still tons of fun and can be played for many hours, despite technically still being unfinished. And it's free. Do it.
Okay. Do it. Do it.
On August 11th, there was Liberty Belle, which looks like a PlayStation 1 and N64 inspired 3D platformer inspired by old superhero cartoons. It's also only $3. On August 17th, Shadow Gambit The Cursed Crew came out, a tactical real-time isometric RPG. Sadly, this is the last game this developer released, as they are shutting down after this one, but the game seems to be well liked. Bomb Rush Cyberfunk came out on August 18th. I have no excuse for missing this one, as it's been on my radar for a while now. Oh well. Basically, this is a spiritual successor to Jet Set Radio Future, so if you've been wanting something similar, give this game a roll. Under the Waves on August 29th, a deep sea exploration style of game, at least on the surface, as it looks like there's a specific backstory to this main character that's more than meets the eye. Starfield on September 5th. You know about it, I know about it, everybody knows about it. Stay tuned for next month's RNG because, oh man. On September 7th, Warstride Challenges came out of early access. This game is a fast-paced FPS based around getting through certain obstacle courses of sorts with speed and precision. Fans of old-school single-player shooters and modding should definitely check this out. Fae Farm on September 8th, the current flavor of the month cute, casual, and cozy farming sim that everyone's into. This one also has co-op, and they also lowered the price from its original hefty $60 price tag down to $40. Good on them, because $60 for this was a bit much in my opinion. Eternights was the other game that had its release date move up to September 12th instead of September 21st, so you can enjoy your post-apocalyptic anime action game that honestly looks pretty cool 9 days early. Oh, and dating sim aspects. You had me in the first half, not gonna lie. On September 13th, we have Gunbrella, a side-scrolling action platformer inspired by the Wild West, but with a dark and gritty art style that's pretty stylish. And it looks hard as balls. If strategy games are more your thing, Dune Spice Wars comes out of early access on September 14th. This is a complex 4X strategy game based on the classic Dune universe, though reviews seem a bit scattered for the early access, so I'd wait a bit until after launch to see what happens. RIN The Last Child is allegedly coming out on September 21st, but they haven't properly updated the Steam page, so take it with a grain of salt. This game is one of those super artsy Metroidvanias that I totally want, so I hope it does come out soon. On September 25th, we have WitchSpring R, a remake of the original WitchSpring that was originally only on Android. Just a cute little RPG with crafting and stuff. The third game is also on Steam if you're interested, but looks like the second is still currently MIA. Pizza Possum comes out on September 28th. This silly game is about a possum that wants to eat pizza, and in order to get there, you have to avoid a lot of other animals trying to stop you. This game is made for couch co-op and looks like silly fun. Lastly, for all you weebs out there, Fate Samurai Remnant comes out on September 28th. Definitely a step up in production quality for this series from the looks of it, but I can't tell whether it's another Musou game like the Extella games, or more like a Souls-like hybrid thing, but well, we'll find out soon enough. Whew. That's all for this RNG video. Hope you enjoyed it. If you join my Discord server, you can be the one to tip me off to the worst take of the month. Well, except for this month probably, because holy shit. There was already a take so bad that it spawned whole-ass articles clowning on the guy. You'll see. Anyway, feel free to subscribe, leave a like, comment, share, you know the drill. Check out my top 10 videos. Follow me on the Twitter, Rumble, and Odyssey. And as always with this totally reasonable gaming industry and community, have high standards, low expectations.